Hey everybody, Todd here, and welcome back to another Wellness Talks. Today I'm just going to be looking a little bit more at what personal values are, and in this specific video, what values are not. So stick around as I walk through at least three major components of what values are often mistaken as, but in actuality are not. So it can be confusing often when I'm working with folks when I ask them, what matters to you? What are your values? That they will go into one of these three areas and start describing values in this way. And while oftentimes it's close, it's not exactly what it is that I'm trying to get them to pay closer attention to. It's not always as useful. It's too broad. So here are a couple things to consider when it comes to what values are not. Values are not internal states of mind, internal states of emotion, internal states of sensations. And what I mean by this is that it's not unusual when I ask somebody what matters to them, what's of value, that they'll say, I value being pain-free, or I would value being anxiety-free. And what they're actually describing to me it's not the value, it's the thing that they actually would like to be rid of. I don't know if you've noticed that they're basically describing, this is not what I want. And what the values are doing is trying to get you to look in a direction of what do you want more of in your life. And so what you're describing is the thing that's getting in the way. It's not the value. So you may say, I would like to be pain-free, but what you're really saying is that I would like a certain sense of peace, comfort, or acceptance, or there's going to be a different direction, something that there's an absence of. And part of the reason that's important, using the pain example, is if it was what I'm really want to move towards is a sense of calm. I would like there to be more calm or kindness in my life. Well, then my follow-up question then would be, well, if calm was there, if you did feel calm, if there was a certain sense of kindness, what would you be doing in that moment that would actually allow you to move towards, be part of that sense of calmness, that sense of kindness? In other words, the first response is a typical escaping something, avoiding something, or trying to control it. Where the other would be an actual direction, and what would be the behaviors, what would I be doing, what would I be experiencing that would give me that sense of calm, kindness. So again, values are not internal states. 2, values are not about how people treat us. This is another extremely common one. When people say, I want to be respected, I value being respected by others. I value being useful for others. I value being supportive to others. And so they will say, I want to be valued, supportive, seen. The problem with this is that these are actually controlled by others. And in essence, what you're saying, when we focus on validating our values and what matters is on other people, is that we are actually relying on an outside force, which is well beyond our control. And it's a place where we often get stuck. I just want better communication from my spouse. I just want my boss to treat me with respect. You can see how that's going to end up being a pattern where we can waste a lot of energy and a lot of time, where we could actually say, well, what would I need to do? If I was to say being creative is the thing that I would need to do, being innovative, that gives me direction of things I can actually do at work to get my boss's attention. Things I could do whether I got my boss's attention or not. And if I keep moving in this direction and my boss keeps blocking it, well then maybe it alerts me to the fact that I probably need to move on. And then finally, one of the biggest ones is that values are not goals. I don't know how many times I've said this with multiple times over the years. A lot of times when I ask people what matters, what's the value, they'll say, I want to finish my degree. I want to get a job. I want to get a date. I want to get married. I want to have children. There's something underneath that. The value is what's driving us. And what's cool is once you actually figure out what your values are, we can work backwards, finding mile markers so that we know we're moving in the direction of what matters. But a goal is something that you can complete, and a value is something that is constantly out in front of you. It's kind of like choosing a direction and saying, I would like to go west. And the wild thing about this is that even if I was to pick a goal, let's just say Baltimore, by the time I get to Baltimore, if my value is west, Baltimore is a goal. But when I arrive there, I can't say, I'm here. I've now gone as far west as I can go. This is it. There's still a west. In fact, I can circumnavigate the globe and there will always be a west. Same thing applies then to things like creativity or kindness or unity or compassion. Is that I'm never going to get to a point where in my life where I have now reached vitality or health or strength. I'm done. I'm as compassionate as I'm ever going to be, and then we're done. Because the moment I do that, I stop to move away from it, it's going to begin to atrophy. I'm not going to be doing the actions that I need to in order to keep moving in that direction, to keep that in place right here, right now in the present moment, and it'll start to fade into my history. And I will most likely lose the strength, the compassion, the unity, the creativity. So just keep those three things in mind as you're playing around with any of the other videos I have up here when it comes to understanding what your personal values are, so you can have direction and meaning in life. And if you liked this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up below. And if you'd like some more videos like this, just feel free to subscribe and hit the bell below so that you'll get notifications when I put those out there. And until the next time, may you be well.